Awesome.
Wonderful.
Good. I know we're coming right off the holiday weekend, so some folks are still out celebrating or recovering from their holiday weekend. But thank you for being here. We're going to go ahead and get things started. In case you didn't notice, the weather is changing. I'm a little broken-hearted, but fall is here. It's pretty chilly today, but I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we got cheated a little bit out of summer. But the good news means something in particular started today. Can't recall what it was. I think Melissa. Hey, how are you, Bob? What started again today?
School.
School started again today, which typically, is sometimes one of the things people wait for to start again before they get reactivated in a home search or something like that. So the good news is we'll probably see a little bit of an uptick as a result of that starting up. I'm going to go over the calendar for September briefly. Then I'm going to turn it over to Katie to touch on a few announcements. So later this week on Thursday, there's a breakfast and learn presented by Wintrust Mortgage from 10 to 10:30 that's going to be held here. Katie's going to be doing dot loop tools, and then Mel will be doing agent tech support here Thursday as well. Good morning. Come on in. Just a reminder that the CGI Career Growth Initiative calls take place every Monday at 1 p.m. in this training room. I highly, highly recommend that you hop on those if you can. They're hosted here at the Market Center. Mega Camp, or what is now known as Mega Relief, is going to be taking place the week from the 12th to the 15th down in Austin. We've got a few folks that are going down to that. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Lisa's got some coaching that she's doing in Rochester on Tuesdays. Debbie, do you want to speak a little bit about what Power Up Morning is? I understand you're kind of heading that up.
We used to do this.
Okay.
Power Up Morning is we meet briefly, 15 minutes at 8:45. We're going to do a couple scripts, and then we're going to make our phone calls. Then we'll meet again when we're done with our phone calls and just see how many appointments were made or what was done and what wasn't done. Awesome. And if you made your calls or not.
Very good. And that starts on the 18th?
Yep.
It's Monday and Wednesdays in the morning?
Monday and Wednesdays.
Awesome. Next team meeting will be on the 19th. ALC meeting will be on the 19th. And then Katie's got some good classes that she's teaching on Thursdays. The 14th is on green sheets, meaning how you get paid. The 21st is on flex. And then Monday the 18th, I'm teaching a class on how to win in multiples. And the 25th, I'm going to teach building a referral business. Basically,
and then there is a gentleman that is matching donations up to $5,000, which is amazing. So we will submit that to him to match whatever we're able to raise. And I can put it on your AR if that's easiest. So just let us know if that's something you'd like to donate to and the amount, and I'll just throw it on your invoice for you so we can hopefully reach our goal. And then our listing contest ended on the 31st, so we've got our winner for that, and then we'll draw for the second place winner here. So Kelly Meyer took 14 listings between July 17th and August.
She just
31st.
listed cancel her own house 7 times?
She might have. She might have. No,
Remind
so
everybody where Kelly lives.
Kelly lives in Caledonia, a very rural area. And it's funny, when we enter them, you'll see like house and then house right on the same block, and it seems like it's all the same address. So maybe you're right.
I'm just
Cancel listing.
Yeah.
Right. No, she is a listing machine. So she gets $400 towards her AR account, and then we're gonna draw. Debbie, if you draw for me for the next.
draw wisely.
Oh, I can only do one, right?
One. And it's Mary Dreckman out of Iowa, and she took 3 listings during that time, so she'll get $100 towards her credit. But we had great response. We had people with 8, 7.
You're not going to draw again.
Sorry, that's I apologize. But,
You're not going to win because we didn't put your name in.
That's right.
so she'll get $100 towards her AR account as well. And then there is a flyer out here. There's an agent financials class coming up. It's a regional event. It's in the Twin Cities. I don't know the date. I was going to grab it and I forgot. So look for that flyer. It's in the resource room. It's a great course. It's a great time of year to start your budgets and goal
Absolutely.
setting.
Will you grab? I'll go grab it real
I'll
quick.
grab it.
Thanks, because I did mean to touch on that. So thank you. So a little bit about agent financials. So I think there's going to be an agent financials, and I think there will also be a business planning clinic that takes place. So we'll let you know what both of them are. Agent financials, very, very beneficial. I highly recommend you attend if you can. And they always time it in October, which is a great time of year because the whole purpose of it is to start planning for and budgeting for the following year in your business. Thank you. So it's going to be taught by Mark Brennan. And it's October 13th from 9 to 5. It's going to be in Roseville. Registration looks like it's $129, includes lunch and materials. But I'll pass this around so you can take a look at it. If you have questions about the course, let me know. I've been to several of them. Highly, highly recommend them. Definitely a good thing to attend.
This is the one where Todd Butcher, when he taught it, said, remember, it's not your money, take out your tax.
Right, right, absolutely. Because he, yeah, I'll speak to that in just a minute. But before I keep going, I want to take a minute to welcome two gentlemen to the office. We haven't been to a team meeting yet. Brad, welcome.
Welcome,
And we've got Robert in the back. Welcome. Yeah. If you would just maybe take 10 seconds and tell us a little bit about yourselves real quick.
My name is Brad Ingen. I'm from Caledonia, Minnesota. I'm that age who won that contest. Grew up on a beef farm, moved to Rochester in '94, and played football for RCC, and I just stayed here for some reason, I guess. I got into furniture sales, did that for 5 years, and then I sold cars for 11, and just looking to start something new. Here I am.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Mr. Bob?
I'm Bob Owen. I grew up in Rochester and encouraged for many years to get into real estate by my uncle, and it took me forever to learn that I should do it. And drove semis for years, bounced around the country for 3 million miles. Injured my back, and I've been driving the city bus ever since. They hooked me up with Debbie, and I've learned an awful lot in a week.
And
Already
Bob
hit
is
the ground
also
running.
working on his first sale and his first listing.
Wow, awesome.
Nice job.
I told Debbie you should help me out.
That's good. Awesome. Well, welcome, gentlemen. If you can make it to that course by chance, that would be a great one for you, especially as you're starting out and kind of learning to plan and budget for things like taxes. That would be super, super helpful. So that'll keep getting passed around. All right. So a couple of curveballs got thrown our way. And so I'd like to touch on some of the changes that are occurring to Mega Camp, for example, and kind of why CEO John Davis says we have pivoted, which is a term he loves to use, from what we normally call Mega Camp to what we're now calling Mega Relief. Obviously, Houston was hit by a pretty dramatic, catastrophic, unreal event. Was it a week and a half ago? That really has just devastated and brought the whole city to a standstill. And Austin is about 2.5 hours from Houston. And for those of you that don't know, Austin, Texas is where Keller Williams is headquartered. It's where it started. It's where it has a very large presence. So every year we have what we call Mega Camp, where agents from all across the world that are Keller Williams agents fly into Austin. We share, we collaborate, we talk about best practices, things of that nature. Well, because of what had happened, just 2.5 hours away, they have decided this year, they made the announcement last week that instead of doing what we normally do at Mega Camp, we're going to instead call it Mega Relief, and we're going to focus on taking all the agents that come, taking them to Houston and the surrounding areas, and helping with the relief efforts that are taking place, which is pretty phenomenal and pretty unbelievable to see a company do something like that on such short notice. So just wanted to touch on that a little bit. If you go to kwrelief.org, that's a website they're using to raise money. Obviously, you can continue to donate through the office, but if you ever have friends, family, people that you know, they're asking, gosh, I wish there was something I could do. I would love to donate. I just don't know where to donate. You can always direct them to this website. You can market this website. You can use this as a reason to reach out to your database and conversation with them. Please feel free to direct them toward that website where they can donate money and or supplies to the effort. Okay. That being said, also, we're getting a lot of questions about, oh, hopefully I didn't lose it. A lot of questions about, what is Mega Relief? What does it mean? It's not Mega Camp anymore. We knew what that was. We knew what to expect. What the heck is Mega Relief? Well, if you go to megarelief.org, you'll find out all the information, the most recent information they have about the events that they're planning down there, the activities, all that fun stuff. Because I'll be honest with you, the answer to the question is we kind of don't know right now. This is literally just a change that occurred. So if you go to this website, most of the up-to-date information will be posted here. You can feel free to check it out. I know they have, so the agenda here, they have a few things on there for some of the respective dates, but right now it's pretty generic. Basically, my understanding is you'll meet up, you hop on some buses, you go partake in the relief effort, maybe get bus back to Austin. So it'd be a few days of just kind of going and helping, that kind of thing.
Didn't they cancel all the vendors that were supposed to be there?
I'm sure they'll still be there, or New Keller Williams will say, welcome, get to work. And if they're a vendor that's in line with our culture, that's exactly what we'll do. Any questions about that?
No, can I just add to it?
Yeah, absolutely.
With a lot of the donations that people have been sending down there, they always need water. Like if you want to send a thing or a something, water, they say food, water, and supplies, and then clothing. People are sending clothing. People are sending sweaters, jackets. They don't need those in Houston. They don't need them in August. They don't need them in January. Prom dresses. They don't need those right now, and they have nowhere to put them. And I get that people are like, if you lost everything and I've got this really expensive, really nice something and I'm going to send it, someone can use it. They can't right now. Mm-hmm. And the relief workers who are there trying to sort everything all across the entire state of Texas, they don't have anywhere to put this stuff. It's going to the dump. But the dumps and landfills are already full and they're going to be overfilled with all of the debris and everything else they have to take care of. So just, if you want to send something, send water.
They're asking right now if you want to send something, send gift cards.
But make
They're
sure that
really
they have
asking
those
for
stores
gift cards.
in Texas. They are getting a lot of gift cards for, say, Quick Trip. They don't have
No,
those.
they're saying
They're
Target,
using
Walmart, because they're saying it right on Facebook
Yeah.
all over the place. Your Target, your Walmart, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
just make sure they're a national chain, like, that they have them
Sure.
there.
Or, you can always give it to a place that's there too and knows how it can be used and all that fun stuff. Hi there. That's a good food, water, I'd imagine, are two of the most important things. And then obviously money or gift cards that can be used pretty much anywhere. So usually what we like to do, if you recall last meeting, we decided we're going to kind of start each meeting by taking a moment to list a few things that we're grateful for. So obviously keeping things in perspective and knowing what other folks are going through. What I'd like to do is give you about 60 seconds to go ahead and write down a few things that you are most grateful for today. I cheated a little bit. I read ahead, so this is what I'm most grateful for. Grace was helping me put together her bed this weekend. She's not always that helpful. Anybody care to share? I'll share one. I'm grateful for Minnesota weather. As much as I've complained about it over the years, obviously I think I've realized that we don't have it too bad up here other than an occasional cold day in the wintertime. So I'm very, very grateful that we're not dealing with some of the other stuff that people across the country deal with. Houston and hopefully not, but maybe even Florida in the near future. It sounds like something's heading its way too. So.
All my vacation spots.
Your vacation spots, Rich.
Jamaica, Dominican, yeah, they're right in the row.
Hey. Maybe
St.
some
Islands.
good deals in your future.
I'll share one, Zach.
What do you got, Debbie?
I'm grateful for the shift in my mindset.
Good for
Because
you.
when I first heard about Mega Camp being changed to Mega Relief, I was a little bit upset
Sure.
because it was about me and my business. And then I thought, no, change the way you look at things and the things you look at. Change, look at the opportunity I'll have to meet other people. I'll be stuck on a bus with them for 2.5 hours. And I'm grateful for that, I truly am.
Very good.
And again, bold one more time.
It's gonna be an unbelievable experience.
It is.
It really is. Anybody else? Anything you're grateful for?
I'm grateful, we just celebrated my mom's 82nd birthday.
Wow, that's awesome.
And she is as healthy as can be. Dance, you know, while we're singing her happy birthday, and I'm gonna take her to Boulder. Our trip to see her sister in a couple. Very good.
Go soon.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm again most grateful that our granddaughter is doing well after her surgery, and just grateful for being healthy.
No more hospital visits in the near future.
I hope not.
Good. Good. Anyone else? Bob, I would suspect you're probably grateful for maybe a deal or two in the works already.
And someone dragged me along.
Yeah. Right, absolutely. Well, okay, thanks very much. What we're gonna do now is take a minute and we're gonna look at the August Red Report, the video that kind of recaps July into August, just as far as the company is concerned. Oops. Or make it really.
Sticks to me.
Okay, so also at a few of the tables, there's a Q2 report. You guys can pass that around and take a look at it. Jennifer, I think that's right for you. Take a look at it. It's just an update of how we've done so far for the year as a company. Everything's trending up, taking territory, taking listings, taking volume, all that fun stuff. And a large part of that has to do with dialing into the numbers and the tools that the company has. And so what we're going to do over the next few weeks and team meetings is really highlight, zero in, and focus on some of the tools that we have to offer, like KWS, the app, things of that nature. And then also the tools that allow us to know and track our numbers. We've got a lot of questions recently about, hey, when I'm logging to KW, that little thermometer dealio is not there anymore. I can't see where I am in terms of company dollar and things of that nature. So I'm going to show you how to pull reports, how to do your multi-year trends as an agent, and where you can go to actually still find that little thermometer. So you guys have an idea of where that is. And then we'll talk a little bit about fourth quarter, how important it is, and then what the fourth quarter means for your first and second quarters into 2018. Yeah, unfortunately, the closer we get to October, the more and more we start to talk about 2018, even though it seems pretty far away. So, any questions about what you saw? Perfect. So you notice she referenced the PDF. We'll post the link to this in the Facebook page so you guys have access to it. But every time that red report comes out, they also publish a pretty nifty PDF, which has links to a bunch of different resources you can utilize to impact your business in several ways. To the left, you see a quick snapshot of some of the changes, 2016 over 2017. And then real estate tech trends, the 66-day mobile app challenge. We'll post directions about that for those of you that aren't quite sure how to operate that or get it into action. We'll post a link about how to do that. And if you have questions, just ask me or Katie, and we'll help you get your app up and running. I know some of us, that's kind of been a back burner item, but if you want to make it something that you're really pushing and using at a high level, we can help you do that. And then, of course, there's a call for the CGI calls and local expert tools, all that fun stuff. So we'll email this out so you can click into it. If you have questions about any of this stuff or you can't quite figure it out, just let us know and we'll walk you through it. Any questions? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about how to pull your agent multi-year trends. First of all, how many of you are familiar with your multi-year trends report? Bless you. Okay, a couple of you. How many of you are like, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about when you say multi-year trends report? Okay, one new guy, he's pretty honest. Anybody else not familiar at all with what that really is? Do you know that the system automatically generates one for you every month? It's pretty every time we transmit, it'll update for you. You can access it at any time. It kind of is a snapshot of your business, especially year over year. So it's something you can look at. I know, so for some of you, this isn't popping up, right? For some of you, this is not popping up anymore. I think it has something to do with Adobe. So I've been told you might not have the most recent updated version of Adobe. That's what causes that to pop up. Okay, but I'll show you another place you can find it. So when you log into MyKW, this is what you see, right? And now if you want to, you can click on reports, and it's going to give you a whole list of reports that you can look at. Everything from profit share to multi-year trends, all kinds of stuff. There'll be no shortage of reports that you can take a look at. So we're going to go hover over reports. We'll click that.
Can you turn off the light?
Absolutely not. There you go. We'll hover over reports. You'll click that, and that's going to take you to another window. I'll take you to this window right here. So right away, right off the bat, it's giving you a little bit of a snapshot of your business. Now, some of this stuff, when you look at it, you're going to say, well, that's kind of goofy, and that doesn't quite seem accurate, because every once in a while, it's pulling from things like .loop, when you submit green sheets, when you submit listings. So sometimes some of those submissions automatically trigger numbers that you see here. So you might look at that and say, well, no, I've written more contracts than that, or fewer, or I've taken more listings. And this generally always almost sometimes runs about a month behind, because the system will update every month as we transmit. So for example, anything you've done in late August or anything you've done so far this month, it's not going to be in the system yet. At the end of September, once we transmit into the beginning or mid-October, you'll see everything from September be updated in the system. Does that make sense? So it kind of gives you an idea of where you're at GCI-wise, things of that nature. This is the company dollar thing that I know everybody's always looking at. How close am I to actually capping? It kind of helps keep track of that for you. So this is a good quick breakdown in terms of a snapshot. But if we want to get in deeper, we want to look at multi-year trends. We're going to hover over reports again. Then you're going to come down to associate. And then you would click on, multi-year trends. When you click on that one, it's going to pull up a spreadsheet that you may or may not know exists, has been tracking for you ever since you joined the company. Oh. Give me a refresher pretty quick. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to generate a report for you because it's pulling data from the system from a bunch of different places, but it'll eventually generate it for you. You can download these, you can print them, you can copy them. I mean, it would probably not be a bad habit to maybe review them at least month over month to get an idea of where you're doing, how your business is trending. So unfortunately, the only one I really have access to show you is mine. So we're just gonna be 100% transparent with you. You can see how we're doing so far. Or maybe not see because it's kind of small. But what you'll see is, so obviously I joined the company in 2013. It was really late 2012. So 2013 is when it starts tracking my numbers. It takes me all the way up to July of 2017. So August will post here soon. But what it allows you to do is kind of compare month over month or year over year how you're doing in terms of closed sales volumes, listings taken, written volume, things of that nature. And I know what you're thinking, or what some of you might be thinking, okay, that's cool, but how is that actually useful? What does that really mean for my business, right? Well, I'll tell you right now, as we're finishing, what quarter are we finishing right now? We're finishing the third quarter. We're in the last month of the third quarter, right? Getting ready to launch in the fourth quarter, okay? So if your business is not where you'd like it to be as of right now to achieve your goals for 2017, do you still have time to take action to change the outcome of 2017? Yeah. You absolutely do. But how many more months do you have to take action to change the results in 2017? 3, maybe, if you're lucky. Because Leanne, as we start to get into November, when will we see those sales actually close, or when will those sales actually impact our business?
January.
2018, right? So as we get to mid to late October, that's really kind of your last chance to do your last minute impacts to this year, right? Once we hit that mid to late October, we're already starting to transition and focus our business in the first quarter of 2018. And oh, by the way, the fourth quarter, I would argue, is the most important quarter of every year, of every single year. Why do you think I say that?
That sets up your first quarter.
Lays the foundation for your next year. If you have a slow first quarter, which, oh, by the way, in Minnesota is traditionally a little bit slower just because everybody's frozen, right? If you have a slow first quarter, you're going to feel like you're playing catch up the entire next year, right? But if you go hard and you really hit it hard in your fourth quarter, and those results bleed over and you carry a lot of momentum into your first quarter of the next year, you're going to be able to continue to ride that momentum and keep your foot down on the pedal to have a strong year altogether. I wish I could blow this up a little bit more for you, but you can see, like, it's always funny for me. I'll go back and I'll try to correlate it with life events that were going on. Like, you can kind of tell when Carly and I had a kid, when you look at our business and its numbers. You can tell when I went to Bold. You can tell when I hired a coach. Unfortunately for me, this year, you'll be able to tell when Carly took over the business because it's going to do the best it's done yet. So obviously she should have taken it over a while ago. But what's interesting about this is you can sit back and look at your numbers and say, gosh, what was different this February than last February? Why did I have such a stronger, why did I perform way stronger this February than last February? Or why did I perform not as strong this February than last February? Start to critically analyze your business and then get strategic about, okay, how can I make sure that I see those same results again next year? Or how do I prevent that from happening again next year? And kind of safeguard your business and plug any holes that you might have. Or to say, man, we really crushed it last March. What is it that we did? And how can we maybe compound that or make it even bigger, right? So take a look at it. It's very, very helpful. It's very enlightening. So closed units, closed sales volume, listings taken, volume, listings sold. And then there's a My Tracker that we have that you can utilize in conjunction with the Career Growth Initiative. Excuse me, it allows you to self-track your appointments and things of that nature. And if you do that, that will automatically pull to your trends report as well. You can look at how many appointments you've been on, how many converted, listings taken versus listings sold, and all that fun stuff. So I always have a lot of people ask me, where do we find these numbers? What numbers should I be tracking? How do I implement this into my business? And the beauty of it is it's already done for you. A bulk of the work. The question is, do you actually sit down and revisit it? And do you just look at it and say, oh, that's interesting? Or do you look at it and say, okay, what does this tell me about my business? And what changes can I do? impact my business or what change, maybe I shouldn't change something, right? Questions, thoughts, ideas, feedback on that. Is this helpful?
We can at least go back and look at it.
Absolutely. How many of you have kind of read back and revisited? Maybe it wasn't a multi-year trip, maybe it was something similar. Anybody? Jennifer? Any takeaways from it? Did you find it to be
Oh, yeah.
useful?
My coach helped me do this, and
Oh,
it
good.
was super evident when I had surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just like, wow. So, because you find the zeros and you count back 2 months to see what happened.
Right.
It's super evident.
Because they say in real estate, what I'm doing today, I'll see the results of when? About 90 days, about 60 to 90 days, right? That's always something to keep in mind, because I had an aha one year at Bold, because in Minnesota we always like to say, well, it's the winter time, nobody ever does real estate in the winter time, right? So they actually pulled some numbers, and they said, dude, look at the numbers. There's just as much business that occurs in the winter as in the spring and summer.
Those are your serious
Right,
buyers.
absolutely. Because the biggest difference is there's just fewer agents out there doing that business.
That's right.
And the aha for all of us collectively was, well, holy crap, that means there's still a lot of business going on and there's way less competition to get that business. Instead of going on vacation, I don't mean real vacation, I mean just not being lazy in the wintertime. That's actually probably when I should double down my efforts and gobble up as many of those serious buyers and sellers as I can, because every other agent is taking vacation. Right? That was a huge, huge wake-up call for me. And then we started pivoting that into scripts we could have with our sellers and our buyers, right? Because Debbie, if you've got a seller who's thinking about going on in November or December, what do some agents tell them to do?
Oh, just wait.
Right, and what would you tell them to do?
Oh, let's get on there.
Yeah.
The people that are buying now are serious.
Right, and why else would it be advantageous for them? Less what?
Less
Less competition.
Absolutely.
Less competition. See, if we let our clients adopt our same mindset, they certainly will. But if we help them realize what's going on actually factually within the market, when we look at the numbers, it could benefit them greatly. Hey, here's the deal. You can be one of 100 listings come springtime, or you can be one of 10 listings right now when the serious buyers are out. Which do you want to be? Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. But take a look at these. I think you'll find it to be pretty enlightening. Let's see if I can go to sales volume. You can tell when I made the move in 2013, it looks like I did about 3.6 million in volume. Took Bold, it moved to 6 million, hired a coach, went to 10 million. The proof is in the numbers. If anybody always asks, like, okay, you know, what is it really going to do for you? How does it change you? How does it help you earn more money? Well, how about it took me from 3 to 6 and from 6 to 10? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Okay. So as we start winding down third quarter and approaching the fourth quarter, what I'd like to do is have a little bit of a brainstorming session about what are some things we can do right now moving into fourth quarter, kind of gearing up to finish the year strong and look toward the next year in our businesses to kind of help us either gain momentum or keep momentum going. So what ideas do we have?
Good job.
Yeah, do your job, great.
Attend Debbie's Power Up.
Say again?
Attend the Power Up morning.
All right, not a bad idea. Power Up mornings. Not a dumb question at all.
Well, we talked about it before you got.
Just chat with Debbie afterward about it. Attend Agent Financials maybe. We're going to talk more about CGI, the Career Growth Initiative, but I think as we get closer into fourth quarter, we'll talk about that and actually setting your goals for 2018. I think that'll be important to you. What are some other things you can do in your business between now and the end of the year? Let's get creative. That can maybe help you see some immediate results. If not in the fourth quarter, hopefully by the first or second quarter of next year.
Really get focused on your database.
Okay, and what does that mean, Debbie?
It means start reaching out to more people in your database, your
Right.
sphere, your Mets, and start a farm.
Right, and this, so that was one of the things I was hoping would come up, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because right now we're getting ready to hit what time of year that gives you no shortage of reasons Right. We've got so many reasons right now to be reaching out to our database. It's not even funny, right? And it's not, hey, it's Zach with Keller Williams calling me to do business. No, it's, hey, it's Zach, it's calling. It's back to school. Let's party, right? Thank God your kids are gone. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Right. So holiday outreach, right? That's a huge one. And what are some of the holidays that are coming up?
Halloween.
Halloween's a big one. What's
And
that?
we have an idea for that.
Huh?
And we have an idea for that.
Very good.
But I don't know about all the resources, so maybe if anybody in the room knows any farmers that are just, I don't know if we can get a full truckload, but I'm committed to like 40 pumpkins, I'll buy 40. And I don't know if anybody else.
I tried to do that last year and they're usually already spoken for.
I know.
That sounds like
that's
maybe a mastermind or
Yeah.
a meeting afterward, but I like where you go with it. Another one that I think often gets overlooked is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And what you can do there. So Carly and I, for the last maybe 2 years, this will be our third year doing it. Every Thanksgiving, we do a pie giveaway. All of our past clients, we just say, hey, it's Thanksgiving. We're showing our appreciation and thanks for you and your support of our business. Let us know, would you like an apple pie or would you like a pumpkin pie? Let us know by this date. And then on this date or this date, if you swing by the office, you can come pick up your pie. Go to Costco, you buy a bunch of pies for cheap. It's like almost disgusting how cheap you can get huge pies for. These
It
days.
is.
We take we print off a bunch of stickers and say, you know, whatever from Team Lucky Duck, we slap it on the pie, make them come to the office. It's more convenient for us, and then you know what? It gives us a chance to chit chat with them. Sometimes we might spend 5-10 minutes talking to somebody. You know, by the way, they mentioned, oh yeah, we're thinking about moving next year. Here's your pie. Let's talk shop,
Now
right?
we'll have our cake and eat it. too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Here's 2 pies.
Yeah. That's the whole purpose behind it, right? Because here's the deal. All that is it's a cleverly disguised outreach to my database, right? Because there's a huge difference between me saying, oh my gosh, it's almost Thanksgiving. We're so thankful for you and your business. Come on in and get a free pie. Or, hey, Debbie, this is Zach over at Keller. Who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest? Just making my usual call to you, which is not a bad thing. That's better than nothing, right? But if you do that 10 times in a row, it starts to get old, right? They might not answer the phone anymore. If you're the free pie guy, you might answer the phone. But think about it. How can we leverage these holidays as a reason to do some outreach with our clients? Halloween.
Reverse trick or treating.
You could do that. That's great. Go to your clients' houses and tell them Happy Halloween.
Yep.
Right? Carly and I have done something for the last couple of years where we invite all of our clients into the office and we do like a little mini haunted house thing for kids and stuff. It's awesome. We love it. We get a bunch of pictures out of it. We've actually teamed up with a few other agents in the office. I think there's like maybe 5 or 6 of us now. So we all come in together, decorate the office. We all invite our people, which is nice because it makes it look like there's just a ton of clients. And give them little trick-or-treat bags and all that fun stuff, see the kids. I dress up in a costume usually. But it's just another way for us to use the holiday. And the whole purpose is to just get in front of people and say hi to them. And it's all about keeping that relationship and building upon that relationship. And I always tell Carly, and I'm half joking, half serious about this. I say, honestly, I just want to host something, let people know about it. And my favorite person is the person that doesn't take me up on it. So it was just the idea that they were even invited to something or that we thought to invite them to something that I really care about. Because you have a lot of people say, hey, thank you so much for even inviting us. We're actually busy that day, but thank you for even thinking of us. And I'll say, well, hey, you know what? We appreciate everything that you do to support our business and the referrals and the business that you do with us. So absolutely, right? That's relationship building at a whole other level, right? Christmas, we do a drop-in shop. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks out to Christmas, we tell all the people that we know, hey, if you need a day where you can just go out and shop uninterrupted, drop your kids at the office. We're going to put on a movie, we'll do crafts, we're going to have some pizza, bring their PJs, we'll just hang out. And then we free up parents to go do shopping. Or they just get a couple hours off, I think, sometimes. But that's been a pretty well received thing that we've done for folks. We don't do it all day, like we limit it now to just a few hours because I'm not trying to get crazy with the daycare center, right? But that's been pretty big. And then New Year, The reason we're going over all this stuff right now is so that you have time to build it and to plan it, right? Because if you try to do all this in 1 week, it's not going to happen, right? Our conversations for this have already started, right? We're already prepping marketing material. We're already pulling the database. We're already thinking about where and when we're going to do it, dividing who's going to buy what, all that fun stuff. This will start happening in the near future. And so will this, right? The New Year thing. Here's what does everybody do come New Year? Everybody does what? Resolution, right? Well, this idea stemmed from a conversation I had with my coach maybe 3 years ago. And she was really challenged. She's like, Zach, I want you to go through your database, categorize it, do the A's, the B's, and the C's, that fun exercise. And she said, now your goal is how can you move those B's to A's, those C's to B's? Like, how can you do it? Like, I know you know a lot of people, right? You know a lot of people, but do you really know them, right? It's okay, it's a fair point. So I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna go through. I found out via Facebook and LinkedIn how to pull everybody else connected to you with addresses on file. And when it came time to be New Year, I said, hey, Happy New Year. Hope all is well. One of my New Year's resolutions is to get back in touch with people that I've lost contact with over the years. You're one of them. Would love to take you out to a cup of coffee or lunch. Let me know what works for you, and also let me know what I can do to help you with your New Year's resolution. I'll probably be calling you or emailing you over the next few weeks just to catch up. Blasted that out. The reason I did that is I didn't want to just be calling people out of the blue with no heads up. I kind of gave them a warning, and I could say, hey, maybe you got my email, and I could reference the email. It was kind of like, oh yeah, this phone call makes sense. It's not just some random weirdo from the past who's calling me again, right? And a lot of the responses we got were good. People are like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's awesome. We'd love to catch up with you. Let's go grab coffee. So these events we've probably been doing for the last few years, and I could probably count at least 2 or 3 deals consistently annually from those events, meaning a conversation took place at that event where somebody committed to doing business with us. That doesn't account for all the business that just is occurring because we're fostering those relationships, right? So my takeaway for you is maybe take some time to sit down and strategically look at the rest of your calendar for the year and figure out what can I do to maybe leverage some of these events or tools or things of that nature to continue to build momentum heading into 2018 and to finish 2017 strong. Does that make sense? What are some other ideas? I kind of started throwing a bunch more out there, but what are some other things that people have done or other holidays or events that you kind of pick? We did a back to school supply drive just recently, so that's something, looking at next year, how you can pair it up with like what's going on in the world right now. Let's pair it up with it. The relief effort, that's something you can call people about and say, hey, our company, our office is spearheading a huge effort for the people down in Houston wanting to call you, make you aware of a website that we have, or let you know that we're accepting donations. We're headquartered in Austin. Our company's already set up a command center and several warehouses in Houston. If you'd love to give back, I'd love to help facilitate.
Just from my Facebook post, I had a $50 check from one of my neighbors.
That's awesome. And it's doing good, coming from contribution, and also fostering good relationships with people that, the byproduct of that is it helps your business as well. Other things.
Trunk or treat, that was
Trunk or treat. What is that? You either take some candy, you get in my trunk? That sounds weird.
I thought it should be trunk and drunken. It's where you have your cars lined up in the parking lot.
Oh, really?
Little candy.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought.
I've never heard of that.
If anyone else wanted to do it.
We should do like a contest, a costume contest in time. I'm thinking maybe in addition, you know what I mean? It's a little bit nicer to have theme.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about that.
That's a good idea. The one, just out of experience, this one, you never know what weather you're going to have. So always have a backup indoor plan or something for the Halloween one, because sometimes it's absolutely gorgeous. Like the first year when I moved to Minnesota in 2000, we were walking around outside in shorts on Halloween. I was like, this Minnesota's not bad. I'm pretty sure like the next Halloween it was snowing like crazy. I was like, what's going on?
91 was not
What is
good.
going on? Right. Trunk and treat, that's a cool idea. I like that because you could almost if you farm neighborhoods, you can almost tell each neighborhood you're farming, hey, look for us at this location at 8 and then 8:30, or that's probably kind of late. But you could hit a few different farming neighborhoods at set times and just trick or treat right out of your trunk. That's a great
Think
idea.
about it in our office.
Or yeah, or in our park. Absolutely.
Just find out when the schools do their thing. That's, instead of actual Halloween day, you could do it when the schools do it.
Thinking about the day before and also incorporating some curriculum. You know,
Yeah,
at
oh,
the
yeah.
time, I don't know, what it be, 4 to 5 or
4 to 5:30
What else?
for Halloween.
Or just in general, What else can you do between now and the end of the
So what are
year?
you doing with pumpkins?
I don't know yet. I gotta figure out the pumpkins. I gotta find the things.
Because I would like to do that too.
You could do some more open houses, right? That's always something you can do. And oh, by the way, when people come through your open house, what can you invite them to? A trunk and treat, right? Seriously, everything is so hyper strategic. When you come to this, what do you think I'm inviting you to?
Thanksgiving.
When you come to this, what do you think I'm inviting
Shop
you
and
to?
drop.
It's a vicious cycle, right? Once you're in the web, you're not leaving.
Then you got
You're
that darn
out.
Easter bunny.
Right, yeah, seriously. So it's thinking, how can we, so we got pretty strategic about it. And at these events, we have the literature, we have the marketing material for the next event. So they literally are coming to this event and they're leaving with a flyer for the next one, right? And all that stuff is branded with Dial a Ducks, We Give a Duck, it's got our website, everything, you know what I mean? It all feeds itself because what just happened over this last weekend during Labor Day weekend? Does anybody even know what Labor Day weekend means? What's it about? Yeah, I tell you right now, my Labor Day weekend was terrible because I was laboring like crazy. But Labor Day weekend, it's what does it become? Like when you hear of Labor Day weekend, what do you think of?
Furniture sale.
Furniture sales, right?
No.
That's what I think of.
That's what a lot of people think of. Furniture sales, yeah. So all these companies, they've taken the holiday and they're leveraging it to their advantage. That's their holiday.
I missed out.
Watch
Don't
TV.
worry, there's always
Right.
an extended sale.
There you go. So my question to you is, well, why can't we as agents leverage every holiday? Right? If the other companies are out there doing it, well, we should be able to leverage every single holiday to our benefit, especially because we have a much more personal relationship with these folks than some of these other companies, right? So think about how you can make certain holidays associated with, all of a sudden now in the minds of your people, your database, your sphere, you become associated and synonymous with Halloween and all these other holidays, and they start to look for, hey, when are you going to do that thing again? Oh, we're looking at this day. Okay, good. We just want to make sure that we penciled it in and got it. You know what I mean? Really think hard about this. And here's the deal. Sometimes when we start talking events and stuff like that, people say, okay, that sounds great in theory, but I'm not made of money, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. I really do. My biggest thing was, I was like, I would love to do these things, but I'm not going to spend crazy amounts of money. Come up with a budget. I would tell people, hey, we're going to do this thing. You've got a $200 budget. Show me what we use the office so the space is free. Halloween, most people already have decorations, so we just pulled in decorations. All we had to do was really spend money on candy and a couple of activities, right? These are way less expensive than you would think if you take the time to, if you're just disciplined about it, right? Thankfully, my mom basically bought out Costco when it came to Halloween decorations and Christmas decorations. She could probably charge per ticket if you wanted to visit her house during Christmas time. Thanksgiving pies are a little bit pricey. I think, I don't know, probably $200, but it allows us to, because the advertising up to this, there are all touches, the event is a touch, and then you usually thank people afterward for coming, which is another touch. So if you're trying to do a 33 touch campaign in a 12-month period, you'll probably triple it if you do this, because it's a lead up to the execution and the follow-up.
How much were your pies that we at Costco?
They were really cheap.
Like less than $10.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
huge.
$6.
They're
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, but
the
how
other
good
thing.
are they?
They're
Are they
delicious.
good?
They're actually
Yeah.
good, yeah.
They're very good.
I don't know.
throw enough whipped cream on there, it tastes great.
Should we go to Costco after this?
I look at them and I'm like,
Well, I tell you,
their
a lot
pumpkin
of,
pie is delicious.
ever since we've done from Costco, people are like, oh my gosh, this is huge. Like,
Yeah.
like they're expecting.
Huge.
So my
Yours were,
They were big.
All right, what else can we do?
This might only work in a small town.
Yeah, what goes on locally that you
Um,
can leverage?
Well, this is what I'm doing for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna carve a KW pumpkin and I'm gonna put it on my step.
Cool.
I'm gonna put out there on Facebook that anybody that comes to my house and says, hey, you sell real estate, I'm gonna give them a special little prize.
Okay,
Beer.
cool. Yeah.
Maybe beer, I was thinking about maybe some gift cards,
Mhm.
you know, $5 Starbucks card or something. But that's only because I just want them to know where I live,
Mhm.
that I'm in real estate, and to just touch them.
That's awesome. So that's a really cool idea. What you can do is say, in order to receive your prize or the
Yeah.
mission to get over, you have to take a picture of the pumpkin, post it to Facebook,
Yeah.
and tag me in it.
Well, I
If you
thought
want
about,
to.
yeah, I thought about hiding the pumpkin around town somewhere.
That's super cool.
So I haven't quite worked out the bugs yet, but that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So I could just hide the pumpkin.
Absolutely.
You could do 20 of them and just have them everywhere.
So that's awesome. And I think what it can help us think about and be even more strategic about is if we're going to be doing these events, then how do we then share to the world and to the sphere, our database, people we're connected with, the events that we're doing? Because pictures are worth 1,000 words. You'll see no shortage of pictures from our team on Facebook, right? If we're going to host a Halloween event, there's going to be so many pictures of little kids in Halloween costumes, you can't stand it. And I'm probably going to be in them with them because here's the deal. If you see me in a costume and I'm surrounded by kids and they're all smiling with candy, it's hard not to say, I would probably work with that guy.
About
Right?
a duck costume.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I have one.
Tutu.
There we go.
Okay, Leanne.
I
I see how
got a
it
duck
is.
costume.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you know, it might be cute. We'll see.
gotcha.
I wanted to ask you though about putting pictures on Facebook. Do you ever get like the parents to sign something that
I don't.
images?
I really don't. I'm not saying that you should or you
I was
shouldn't.
just curious.
Yeah, but KW has a legal department. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay. I don't want
we paid for
to
it.
make me nervous.
You just have to ask permission.
But if they're your clients, if they're your friends, if you've built that relationship, honestly, it's you don't have to. It's not a bridge I've had to cross. Let's put it that way. What's that?
Jump up front, I'll take a picture,
Yeah,
I possibly put it on my Facebook. If they're wanted, they're gonna say.
By now, they're used to it with us because we take pictures with them all the time. When they close, we're like, hey, we're gonna take a picture, right? Brad, I'm gonna ask you for a picture later today. We're gonna celebrate you joining the company.
And it will be on Facebook.
It will be on Facebook.
Yeah.
You don't need to sign anything. But then being able to utilize that in the form of newsletters, direct mail, social media, that's stuff that you can continue to leverage and make very, very strategic. And then all of a sudden, you become known as that person. You've built phenomenal relationships. That referral business is going to be huge, and people you'll find will be more apt to also refer people to you or introduce you to them because they see it provides so much value above and beyond just the sale and purchase of a home, right? Because the number one, it's not a complaint, but most people say they would reuse their same agent again, but why don't they? Because they don't remember him or how to get in touch with them, right? The whole purpose of all of this is so they never forget about me.
Never.
Yeah. Like it sounds weird to say that, but that's what it's, hey, here's the deal. Like, I want to be that weird dude. It's just like, if I could just pop up in your window every once in a while, I would, right? Hey, remember me? But that's the whole purpose is building I'm a relationship referral-based business. Not all agents run that way. Not all agents operate that way. But I'll tell you, that's how I run and operate. I find it to be way more fulfilling. I enjoy the people I work with for. And it's given me a good, steady business, right? I'm not poo-pooing the other ways of business, right? We still have people that register on websites and call in, and we'll work hard to convert them. But this is, I would much prefer, I love it when somebody calls me and says, hey, Zach, we're thinking about buying. Can you help us? Absolutely, come on down. Versus me calling and saying, hey, this is Zach. You probably hate agents and people that call you randomly. I would love maybe please the opportunity to potentially meet with you. You know what I mean? It's just like, give me a break. I'll do that, but I love doing it that way too because it's much more sustainable and I can build off of that. It's a little bit more predictable.
Have you heard of Next Door Neighborhood or something? Yes?
Next door social media?
Yeah, I ended up getting somebody's email about this, and it was kind of strange because they said there was a creepy person who said they were a realtor who knocked on our door and wanted to give us a Glade sample.
Jim Clark?
Why would you give a Glade sample?
Slade? That would be a little like.
I think
Your house stinks.
That must have been another office's
They
version of
said they only
brainstorming
went to
ideas.
like 3 houses and then they got into the vehicle together and left.
That's kind of weird. Not gonna lie.
I think it was a curvy salesman, because I actually belong to Next Door, and I heard that people were like trying to get into their houses, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's very bizarre. So I'm
It's
like,
weird.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
we'll
don't
stick to
know.
pumpkins.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Come to us.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or, we've talked a lot about events and things of that nature, but there are also some more systematic, more business type related things you can be doing between now and the end of the year to prep for next year. A big one is open houses. I know that, that's not everybody's cup of tea. More power to you, whatever you decide to want to do. The database outreach is huge. This should not be a substitution for the calls. Should not be a substitution. The reason I do all this is to make my calls easier. I found personally, if I have a reason to call somebody to invite them to something or to thank them for attending something, it's a way more natural conversation for me. And guess what usually happens in the course of that conversation? Megan, when you talk with people, especially if you haven't seen them for a while, what usually becomes a topic of discussion?
Real estate.
Work, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes if I need to steer it that way, I say, hey, Megan, how's work going? Then you might tell me, and then what does that person usually ask you in return?
How's work going for
How's
you?
work going for you? If they're not just all about themselves. And I say, hey, great, thank you so much for asking. The market is insane. Do you happen to know, since you brought it up, do you happen to know of anybody that's looking to buy or sell? I'd love to take great care of them. You know what I mean? It becomes very easy. And that's a numbers game, right? Making the calls and doing those will help you set the appointments, but all that right there gives you a nice segue or a reason to do it. It doesn't feel like you're just calling to randomly be salesman. Have you ever had somebody call you? This doesn't have to be real estate related, but they call you, they maybe ask you about something, and you're kind of like, where's this coming from? Doesn't make any sense. And then they all of a sudden they pivot to something else. You're like, oh, okay, that's your real reason that you called.
That
Anybody
goes
ever?
into their script.
Right? Anybody ever experienced that?
Yeah.
Happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is a sneaky way of doing that. Hopefully, a more natural way of doing it. I'm going to call you to invite you about this, and then hopefully we can transition into a little quick, referral script regarding real estate, right? Versus me just calling and going straight into the referral script, because people can see right through that. Not saying that's a bad thing. I still want you to do it. I just think this allows us to be more strategic about it, right? You gentlemen have a phenomenal opportunity right now to be calling your databases and letting them know you're launching a career with Keller Williams in real estate. And oh, by the way, I'd love to invite you to my kickoff, whatever, right? It's a huge opportunity for you to leverage this event and invite them to another event where you can continue to build that relationship.
Can I say something about that too?
Absolutely.
And don't be afraid of asking for the business, because if you don't, somebody else will,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Because I know as a newer agent, it's not as easy to feel comfortable doing that. That's okay, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. That was,
Right?
I'll spend the last maybe minute or two talking specifically about that, because that was me in a nutshell when I first started in the business. Well, number one was a little bit of that confidence. Number two was I did not want to be that friend. Oh God, Zach calling me again, trying to sell me a mansion somewhere. What's going on? It's got a timeshare down in Jamaica. It's about to get hit by a hurricane. No, just kidding. But what I think what happened is, as I built my proficiency and I built my experience and I saw how other agents operated out in this room, I realized, my God, if I don't help my friends and family,
Who is?
who is going to help them? And I know for a fact, if they work with me, if they work with you, Brad, or if they work with you, Bob, or anybody else in this room, they'll be well taken care of. Their best interests will be kept at the forefront of that transaction. If you fail to ask for the business, or you don't cement the relationship, or you get I've taken like 99 steps toward getting there, but not taking the 100th one and just said, hey, by the way, if you need an agent, I'd love to help you. Right? We're Minnesota nice. We just assume, we hope, we pray, and cross our fingers that They know I'm in real estate. They have to know I'm in real estate. I made one post on Facebook 5 years ago that I'm a realtor. They have to know I'm in real estate. It does not work that way. And who better than you to take care of them during that real estate transaction?
And your friends and family are usually, I'll just say it, the worst of giving you business. And I don't know if it's because they feel like I don't want you to know my business. However, you're not going to know everything anyway. Just remind them of that if that's what they say.
Well, and the caveat is this too. Oftentimes, and I've been guilty of this. Oftentimes, I feel it if a friend or family member reaches out to you, like, oh great, you know, this is for sure business. You know, they're gonna work with you. So sometimes we don't pay as much attention to them, or we don't give them the same kind of treatment that we do a complete stranger. But the caveat is, friends and family, you should go above and beyond to take care of them. Like, give them 5-star treatment. You should give it to everybody, but especially them, because they're a huge source for future business and referrals, and we want to make sure that we maintain that great relationship. Because oftentimes I would just bypass a buyer consultation, or just do a very half, you know what, listing presentation. Like, oh, I know these people, I got it in the bag. That means you should probably do it from start to finish the right way, even more so, because you don't want to leave anything uncovered. Okay, that kind of wraps up the team meeting for today. The takeaway that I want you to have is we're transitioning to finishing the year strong and building a huge momentum and laying solid foundation for 2018. And I know that seems strange. I've been with other real estate companies, and by God, we started talking about the next year on December 31st, right? But in order to finish strong and hit the next year strong, now is the time we have to start looking forward and laying that foundation. So any questions, thoughts, feedback? Otherwise?
Just if you can't go to Agent Financial, make sure you go to business planning.
Yes, absolutely. All right, that's all I got. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
No,